I think we're still savoring a little bit of the glory of the Champions Trophy. There's still few things coming out on social media with Rohit Sharma waking up next to his trophies, and there's some nice stuff. And Virat Kohli just given an interview about how like he's still motivated to play cricket. How Australia was a dark place for him, and obviously this is fine to say now after the Champions Trophy has been won, but the social media feed has been going wild with like Dream 11 ads. I think the have you seen the Amir Khan and Ranveer Singh ad? Oh,
That's a
sorry,
good.
Ranveer Kapoor ad.
No, yeah, that's pretty good. People are saying
It's
that's the
hilarious.
best thing that's come out of Bollywood in the last couple of years.
I mean, this Jackie Shroff is in there. Arbaz is in there. It's just a great ad. So if anybody's not seen it, I mean, along with Prashant Krashan, this week that's been the flavor of social media.
We've all lost it too much in that game, but that's unrelated. Maybe he'll get an IPL contract.
Yeah, he should be a mascot for one of the teams. Maybe Delhi Capitals because they're a bit of a joke.
We will rename again to be Delhi Croissants. Anyway, that took a turn I wasn't expecting. But we have to talk quickly about the WPL. And I say quickly because if yesterday had gone differently, it would have been the first 20 minutes of our show. But we are not going to gloss on it because it's too painful. Yet again, is it the third time I think the Delhi Capitals side has reached the final, topped the table, and fell short. And Harmanpreet's Mumbai Indians, well deserved, lifted the trophy yesterday. But we are starting, I don't know what the parallels are. And you always hear about these English Premier League football fans who support a team that's been 17th for 10 years straight. And it's starting to feel like as Delhi, I'm harsh, but it's starting to feel like as Delhi fans, we are those guys that have been fans for 18 years and have nothing in the trophy cabinet. And it's not looking likely that there'll be one soon, either on the men's or the women's side, is it?
No, it's not. And I was like, I don't know. Yesterday, I switched on the TV when there were three down, and I was like, this is our game. And then the period that I ended up watching intensely was the period where Mumbai Indians fought back. And man, Harmanpreet just was brilliant. Like I was regretting putting it on the TV because I saw exactly that phase. Then we seem to have pulled it back after about 6, 7 overs of carnage. And then I just went to sleep because I was like, listen, the IPL is starting. I need to rest. I need to kind of, get in my sleep before. And I woke up to messages from you and DJ, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I don't know what happened in that second innings, but I just don't want to talk about it because I was all ready to say we've got one trophy and start attacking friends from the other teams, but just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I think well said. Disappointing, a fantastic season, I have to say, as a podcast host, more than just a Delhi fans. But a great season all around, great season for the Delhi Capitals as well, topping the table. Shafali looked amazing, Meg Lanning, Jess Jonathan, everybody showed up at different times, just unfortunately not in the final. So with that, we're going to pivot and talk about the IPL. DJ, are you ready? This is a whirlwind kind of format. So what we're going to do, and for anybody who's listened for years, we're going to cover all 10 teams in a very quick whirlwind. Each of us will take one, and then we all always talk about Delhi because we are all fans of the Delhi side. But we're going to go in order, guys, of last year's points table. And I'm going to have us divide and conquer. And we're going to hit strengths, weaknesses, key players to watch, and then kind of how well do you think they do? A little prediction. And we'll wrap up our show with our predictions for this year's top four playoff spots. DJ, actually, Varun, let's start with you. We are going to start with last year's table toppers and eventual winners. The Kolkata.
Do we go from the top or do we go from the bottom?
Which one should we do? Let's go from the top. Or I'll. How about this? I'll pick randomly. We'll start with Kolkata, and then I'll start jumping around, and I'll probably lose track, and you'll have to tell me which ones.
Yeah, we'll only do 9 teams by the end
That's
of
fine.
it. And
We'll
be
make
like,
it work.
let's go.
If people are still listening to the show, they're used to this level of quality from us, so we'll make it work. Why don't we do it? Let's hit the Kolkata Knighriders first. Take us away.
All right, champions from last year. You think of champions, you think of a coach and a captain, and they have a new coach and new captain. So Kolkata Knight Riders is, going into the season without Gautam Gambhir because obviously he had bigger things to pursue, and without Shreyas Iyer, the captain, who on record I think recently went and said, I feel I didn't get the credit that I deserved. And I mean, I don't ask me to name them, but apparently he's won 5 trophies in the last year. 12 months or so. So I think, Shreyas Iyer uh, got a little bit of the short stick in this. Just my opinion. Gambhir obviously moved on for India duties, but anyway, they've retained their core as they saw it, and I think Shreyas didn't make that. So they've kept Rinku, they've kept Venki Iyer in the auction, Russell, Narayan, and Varun Chakravarti. Right. So those are the five guys, and Harshit Rana. So those are the 5-6 guys who came back as part of either retention or the core. They have made Ajinkya Rahane the captain, despite Venkatesh Iyer going for over 23 crores. And they've said that it's because they don't want to put pressure on Venki Iyer, like as if it's not enough pressure to go for that price tag. But I just I think Rahane is the stable hand, so I think it's not a bad move from a captaincy perspective. But if you ask my honest opinion, are you guaranteeing him a season where he's got a fixed slot? What is that slot? Because we saw a resurgence at opening on number 3 for CSK. DJ, I don't know if you remember this, but was there a period once where Rahane actually dropped the KKR captaincy midway? I can't remember, but I know KKR has had these issues before with Morgan and stuff. So I'm not I'm not 100% sure of this captaincy decision. Um,
Was it
but
DK that changed captaincy in a way?
I think you're right. I think it was DK that gave it to Morgan, and Rahane was probably in KKR at that time. Maybe that's what I'm
Mm.
thinking about it. But it's it's a kind of decision you can't fault, right? So I think they've got a decent lineup. Like what I would think their top few would be is like a Quinton de Kock opening with Narayan, because you want to keep that formula going. They have Gurbaz, but I just feel that with de Kock there, you're probably going to start with him, and then depending on form, you'll see Gurbaz come in. Then, of course, this guy Angrish Raghuvanshi impressed me a lot last season. I would say that he would be kind of my number 3. You've got interesting choices then with Rahane, Venki Iyer, Ramandeep Singh. All need to play that core middle order role. I think Russell and Rinku, sometimes I feel they come too low down the order, but that makes up your kind of lower middle order. And then again, strength is spin, right? Varun Chakravarti, Narayan, Mayank Markande. These are the 3 spinners. And what who have typically worked well for them, I would say Vaibhav Arora and Harshit Rana. Now, where I think the weakness comes is that your last 2 pacers are potentially Andrek Nokia and Umran Malik, right? And now that is where you leak runs. So if you remember last season, even Mitchell Stark was giving like 19, 18 runs
Yeah.
in
And
the
Stark and
league
Nokia
stage.
basically have swapped, right? Because
Yeah,
Stark's gone to
has
Delhi,
gone to
Nokia's been
Delhi.
so it's an
Yeah.
interesting one. Yeah.
So I think that these 2 bowlers are going to be targeted along with probably Harshit and Vaibhav Arora. So pace is probably the thing that I would watch out if I was KKR. Strength, I would say, is spin to win. That's been their mantra for a long time. And yeah, I just hope Venkiar does well, because with that kind of price tag, there's bound to be a lot of eyeballs on it. So that's my quick wrap up on KKR.
Varun, you didn't mention Manish Pandey at all. Can you talk a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know why he's still around. I don't know who's picking him.
He's in the
I just
KKR squad.
can't
It's
understand it.
it's very hot in Calcutta and very humid. You need someone to carry drinks.
Oof.
Yeah. It's
Oof.
just
Very
terrible. It's
humid.
just I can't believe this guy's still
Listen,
around.
even if you guys don't want him to play now, which I'm being a little tongue in cheek, it's harsh to not to give him to be so mean to him. All right.
I mean, Dhoni was mean to him. Oi, kya dekh raha hai?
Now,
It's that thing.
as soon as
उधर
we
क्या
laugh-
देख रहा है?
I obviously admitted the keyword, but
Yeah, there's a few people listening who understand it, and a few will
Tweeted.
not have any idea what we're talking about. But for those who understand it, go watch the clip on YouTube after this show, because it brings joy to my day every time I see Dhoni yelling. All right, Varun, hold the thought on KKR. We're going to come back and ask if you think they're going to make it to the Final Four. DJ, I'm going to jump to you. I'm going to let you start on the spirit of of MS Dhoni's meanness to Manish Pandey. I'm going to let you start with the CSK. Take us away.
Oh wow, you've totally thrown me. So CSK.
You said not to go in order, so I'm
No,
mixing it up.
okay, fair. Let me find the CSK squad. So Ruturaj Gaikwad, of course, is captain this year again, like he was last year. The big news, I guess, is Sam Curran is back in CSK colors. Ashwin is still playing. Devon Conway is still there. Look, when you look at this team, again, you've got to remember that they like a lot of spin. So the key players for me will be people like Ravindra, for example, because he had an okay-ish kind of IPL last year. We've also got Deepak Huda in this squad. For me, he seems to be pretty important player this time around because he does bowl some off spin. He can hit spin big as well. So if you're playing at the Chepauk Stadium, you need guys who can both bowl spin and hit spin. Of course, you've got the good old firm of MS Dhoni as well as Ravindra Jadeja, who carries on playing for this famous franchise. Nathan Ellis, another important pick. So I think I look at this team. It's a fairly well run. Ashwin, I think I've already mentioned. And then there's Noor Ahmed.
There's three Ravis in this team.
And two
Who are the three
Ravindras.
Ravis?
There's
Who are
two
the three Ravis?
Ravindras, one Ashwin. Crazy.
Okay, fair. So look, it looks like a fairly well-rounded team again. The strengths will remain their kind of they know their strengths, right? They know who they want to play in which conditions. They've got most of their bases covered on the spin side of things. They with Matisha Patirana, they got a death bowler of kind of proper impact. I think that was last season or the season before he took a lot of wickets. Um, but it's just that experience of knowing where to kind of deploy players in what position. Dhoni carries on. In fact, the rule itself was changed for him to be an uncapped player this year, so he didn't count towards the I think the capped quota or whatever. What is the thing about the capped player, uncapped player? Is it because of a salary thing or is it retentions? You can retain more players or something like that. That's why they kept him on, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
I think it
rambling.
was retention.
I'm
yeah,
rambling. Look, it's a team that's made the knockouts and the playoffs more often than not. They've won 5 titles, equal with the Mumbai Indians. Last year they were only taken out by that Yash Dayal over, which was because MS Dhoni hit a ball for six. We thought that was probably his last act as an MS, as I was going to say MSK player, but it's a CSK um, player. But their weakness to me looks like when they travel outside of Chepauk, what is their seam looking like, right? So they have Sheikh, sorry, the Sheikh Rashid is a leg spinner, but they have Patirana and the other, I don't really see who their other kind of, other than Sam Curran, I guess you could call him um, a seamer, but they don't have
I
anybody of note really who's going to Kamlesh Nagarkoti, but again, inexperienced Mukesh. Yeah, Khalil, they're not names you're going to be worried about on a cement deck, right, in Dharamshala. So, or maybe you might worry a little bit about Khalil, but it's not going to give you nightmares. So that's their weakness for them. And for me, their X factor or their player to watch will be Rachin this year because he had a quieter year last year, but he's just come off player of the series in the Champions Trophy. Um, it's kind of like time for him to shine, right? Like he's the next generation. It's kind of nice to see that talent go ahead. And of course, from the older generation, I'll pick MSD batting 8 or batting 9 and finishing off a few games just to give Ashwin some
Batting
heartburn.
9. Oh my goodness. Anyway. I mean, listen, we're not going to get into the debate about batting. What I do think is going to be a key for them with MSD is he will still be lightning fast over, behind the stumps. He'll probably be doing that when he's 65, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, Nathan Ellis is the one that's interesting on the seam side because he bowls lots of change ups, but that's good again in Chepauk. He's not expressed or like he's not gonna like he's not a Bumrah or like a Mitchell Stark or like those kind of names that can change a knockout game with their seam bowling like Mitch Stark did last year, right? For KKR.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back and see if you think they're going to make the final four. Spoiler alert: I think they will, and that scares me every time I start these seasons. But right. All right, I'm going to go next, and keeping in this order of not going in the points table flow, I'm going to go with the Lucknow Supergiant. Is it Giant or Giants? I can never remember if it's a singular giant.
Giants now. It
It's
was
Giants
Pune
now. Rising
Super
Pune.
Giant.
The Pune Supergiant was singular because they were still rising. and Lucknow has risen. All right.
Now they've multiplied.
Now they're multiplied. All right, let's talk about the Lucknow team. Guys, this one is a hard one for us to talk because although we are not previewing the Delhi team yet, the single biggest change is at the helm. And they've had quite a lot of change. But at the helm, out goes KL Rahul, in comes Rishabh Pant. That's going to be the biggest change Lucknow sees. I mean, as a whole, I looked at their side and I said they look reasonably solid. I don't think I'm going to put them in the top four, but they could end up topping this table. They're high. There's going to be high risk, high reward type of cricket, right? As I try to go through what I think their 11 could be, your top order could be Mitchell Marsh, Aiden Markram, Nicholas Puran, Rishabh Pant, Ayush Badoni, and David Miller. That is either a side that will be 35 for 6 or 82 for 0 in 4 overs. And that to me is just, it's that kind of cricket, which is the polar opposite of KL Rahul cricket. And so that's going to be the biggest difference, right? Can they outlive the legacy, the bad luck, whatever you want to call it, that Rahul had? And are they going to be in situations where they miss him? Are they going to be in situations where they fall to 15 for 3 that we talk so often, and they needed a Rahul-esque player and they don't have that? I mean, it is a explosive top order potentially. With David Miller now proving that he can make meaningless centuries with just a few overs left. I think as you go down the list a little bit, you start to feel a little bit of the opportunities with, you have Ravi Bishnoi, who's an exceptional spinner, and then Shahbaz Ahmed gives you that spinning all-rounder option, but then you start going to Avesh Khan, Mohsin Khan, Mayank Yadav, right? So it feels a little like RCB teams of the past where you are so reliant on overseas batters that you have to lean on the domestic bowlers, and that to me feels like a little bit of a risk. Akash Deep is also in their squad. They do have Shamar Joseph, who may come in if Aiden Markram, for example, is not doing well enough. But essentially, my takeaway as I was trying to read through, their strengths are their top orders. Their opportunity is depth. I mean, Mitchell Marsh is not 100% fit. I think he's now been given the green light to play as a dedicated batter only, which changes his role a little. But you have a couple of injuries, and you're starting to get into lesser known players. I mean, I was reading through their squad, and there's a lot of guys who have none or very limited IPL experience. So I'm excited to see Rishabh Pant. I will still cheer for him secondarily, even though the team always comes first. Does he bring enough, along with Nicholas Puran, to reignite this team? I'm not sure it'll happen in year one, but it'll be interesting to see the kind of 3-year legacy Rishabh creates for this side. All right, Varun, let's jump to you again. Let's go to the Gujarat team. They finished 8th on the table last year. Let's talk about them, and then we'll take a quick break after this one.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I always end up making some controversial statements where I'm proven very, very wrong in prior seasons, especially with SRH. This time, my controversial statement is going to be about Gujarat Titans. I really don't think they've got the squad to go to the playoffs. It just, as I was reviewing it, look, Shubman is captain, and I think the biggest buy was Butler. Now, you have to remember they've bought a not in prime Josh Butler, but still, Josh Butler is the kind of name who has set the IPL alive in the last 10 years, right? Like, I think out of 14 games, 3 to 4 games, he single-handedly can win you just by playing out the first 5 overs and then batting till 20. So I think Josh Butler is a very, very interesting buy. I think what that does is it puts Sai Sudarshan at number 3. And I love Sai Sudarshan. I think he's awesome. But that's when the gap starts coming for me, because then you've got Glenn Phillips, Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia, Sherfane Rutherford, Mahipal Lomror, Kumar Kushagra, Anuj Rawat. That is basically the names that are potentially from 3 to 7. And I think that's weak. And I think if you get 1 or 2 quick wickets, I think you're going to get, very, very... I think Gujarat is going to become very, very exposed. So that is my weakness from that perspective. Now, they do have Rashid Khan. I think that is a big upside. But again, when I look at their bowlers, they've got an out-of-form Ishan Sharma, a not-in-prime Kagiso Rabada. They've got Prasidh Krishna, who has been injured. And they've got Mohammad Siraj, who, as Rohit Sharma said, is a better red ball player than a white ball player. So, again, I'm not saying they can't do it. I think on the day, like, things can turn around. But just to me, this it feels like a average, or like an above average squad. So, like, let's visualize Butler and Shubman get out in the first 6 overs. I think the game is done. So I think there's going to be too much pressure, and I have a feeling you're going to see slow starts from the Gujarat Titans because they know that they need to bat 20 overs to explode. Um, and I'm probably going to be totally wrong about this, but that is just my gut feel.
How many runs do you allocate to Glenn Phillips taking basically one screamer every match?
Yeah, I mean, he is great. Like some of the catches he took, but in previous IPL team, he's just not been able to find a spot, right? So again,
Yeah.
where are you going to play him? Is it at the cost of a Rabada? It's definitely not a Rashid Khan. It's not Butler. So you're basically playing for that one slot. So I think it's a good shout where I think he will play actually in the starting 11. So it's a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, no, I was actually waiting for DJ to come off mute and make his plug about Washi. And Washi can bat at 4, build the innings, bowl 4 overs in spinning conditions.
That's true. I totally missed Washi in this because I was just like their list of all rounders. They have about 10 all rounders.
Yeah. No, I fundamentally actually agree with you. I think there's that over reliance on the top 3 and on Rashid, but yeah, I think some of these younger guys will have to play a bigger role for them to have any shot. That's it. I mean, I both call Washi a younger guy and realize he's been on the scene now forever. But yeah. All right, 4 teams down. This is always a blitz. We have so much to cover. We could talk so much about each team. Why don't we take a very quick break? We will come back with the last 6 and then get into a playoff predictions from there. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast. Hey, I think we're live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, leave us a message. You probably didn't actually see us take a break. We build those in for the podcast listeners. And by the way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We love to hear from you and we love to see you and read all your comments. Come tell Varun he's wrong about Gujarat. Come tell me I'm wrong about Lucknow. Let's do it. We'd love to get into it. That is the magic of the IPL. DJ, 4 teams down, and now I'm starting to lose track of who we've covered and who we haven't. So I'm going to jump back to the top of last year's points table and have you cover the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Tell us about their team preview for 2025.
Varun, are you sure you don't want to take this one? Because you've
Spare me
in previous years.
Spare me this year.
So I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but every year we allocate each other teams, and this year I allocated. I purposely allocated Varun SRH last year after the feedback he got for the previous year. This year, his first reaction to the allocation table was, "Thank God, no SRH for me." So I said, "I'll take that off your plate." But look, man, this is a squad. When you look at it, it is power packed. So I'm just going to go through. Obviously, there's Travis Shake right on top. During the mega auction, they picked up.
I thought we settled on head shake.
Is it Heady Shake?
Like head shake. Like head shake.
Heady Shake. Yeah, we could have it. Travis Shake, Heady Shake. And then they've just picked up a cool Ishan Kishan during the off season, during the mega auction, which frankly that's a great pick for a franchise like Hyderabad. Ishan Kishan struggling at MI. He was the highest paid cricketer in the IPL mega auction the last time round, I think at 15 crores. Really didn't live up to that billing, unfortunately. But look, he's an India player. He's got a international double hundred in ODI cricket. He's got lots of runs in T20 international cricket. So, but if that wasn't enough, they just went and picked up. Well, they didn't pick up. They already had a guy called Henry Klassen, he's just been smoking it ever since I can well, since like 2019 or 2018 when we saw him in Joburg when that pink
Oh
ODI.
my God, that ODI.
I can't think of a time where Klassen hasn't been smoking it other than that World Cup final where he fluffed his lines, of course. But man, this is a packed lineup, and that's just the batters. Because Abhishek Sharma falls within the all-rounder category. This guy in the last 1 year has become an India player. He scored hundreds for India. He's bringing eyeballs to the ground just by himself. And the other all-rounder that they've got is a guy called Nitish Kumar Reddy, who scored 100 at the MCG. bringing India back from the brink. He's back to bowling. He's been declared fit. Bryden Cass is also part of this lineup. And of course, Captain Patrick Cummins, who can't do anything wrong, is didn't play the Champions Trophy, but he's going to be playing the IPL, leading the charge. Missed out on the trophy last time. And if they thought that the bowling was a little bit light, they've just picked up Mohammad Shami, who's come off a Champions Trophy winning campaign, fully fit. Spin wise, they've got Rahul Chahar, they've got a backup in Harshal Patel for death bowling, they've got Jaydev Unatkar left hand, Adam Zampa right arm spin. I mean, this is an insane squad. And of course, they let go of Hasaranga and stuff, which was a great pick last year because he didn't play. But they are spoiled for choice. Yeah, they've also got Van Mulder from South Africa. They've got Kamindu Mendes, Abhinav Manohar. This is just a squad. Sachin Baby, of course, has come off the Ranji Trophy final. Kerala heartbreak for him, but he hasn't played for a while. He's 35 plus. But look, this is a. I'd have them in for the knockouts already. I think this is. I've already got the scars from Travis Head, right? And you add Abhishek to that. It's this could be over in the first 5 overs, not even the first 10 for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely a second spoiler alert, but they're definitely on my list. I mean, as you were going down, it. Now, let's be clear. The years we've thought Hyderabad has zero chance, they've done well, and the years before we've thought they're going to do well, they've under-delivered. So it'll be really interesting to see.
But I can't do a strength weaknesses X factor the
It's
usual
all an
format
X
because
factor, man.
it's all like any one of those names on their day, like a Klassen, Ishan Kishan, a Travis Head, and Abhishek Sharma. They've got overseas players covered. They've got spin left arm covered. They've got left arm seam, right arm seam,
I
death
mean,
bowlers, leg spin. I
they've
don't
got
know.
Zampa, they've got Chahar, they've got Shami, they've got
Yeah.
Purple Patel.
What? Where do you stop?
Yeah,
This
It's
is
a
an
great
insane
team.
squad.
It's a great team. I also
This
see
could
them
win
going all the way.
all-time great
Yeah,
squad.
the only thing is that you get like a Mitchell Stark to get 2 wickets in the first 3 overs of the final.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to solve
Yeah.
for. Like it's very hard, but that's all you need to solve for.
unbelievable. The first one I think of the 5 teams we've now previewed that we think has it looks unbelievable. Everybody else actually has got some pretty big gaps in their squad. So very interesting. All right, I'm going to
And
take
it's a
us.
total reversal from their previous strategy where they just bowled spin and like batted to get to 160, 170 every game and got Rashid and Mujib and these guys to bowl spin at the opposition. So
Yeah,
very interesting change.
interesting indeed. All right, now we start getting to the point where we've already talked about some of the players, but I'm going to go next to talk about Rajasthan and the Rajasthan Royals. They had a weird season last year, right? Remember, they won 8 of their first 9 games, or 8 of their first 9, and then lost 4 in a row, and it was a bizarro kind of season. Their excuse me, their big auction strategy. No, they did not choose to retain or buy back Trent Bolt, did not choose to retain or buy back Chahal, did not choose to with Ashwin. That is 3 massive losses in terms of names. Now, who they did buy? They spent on bowlers, right? Jofra came back into the setup. Tushar Deshpande, Vanindu Hasaranga, Mahesh Tikshana. Significant amount of spending on bowling. They did not actually buy any overseas buyers, and they had let go of Joss Butler. And Sanju Samson has been in the media recently talking about the loss of Butler. So at a high level, loss of Butler, Chahal, etc. Yes, you replenished and you strengthened your bowling lineup. And by the way, Rahul Dravid, now a T20 World Cup winning coach, is back with the Rajasthan Royals, which should be a help. So I started looking at it. I was like, okay, listen, Jaiswal, Samson at the top, phenomenal. Like just phenomenal, right? I joke about Samson blowing hot and cold. He's a phenomenal T20 player, no question about it. And he's been a good skipper. Then you start getting into, okay, you have Dhruv Jurel, Riyan Parag, Nitish Rana, Shimron Hetmeyer. That's a pretty decent middle order, but it's not the strongest in the league. And suddenly then you start realizing, okay, on the bottom end, you have Jofra Archer, either Tikshana or Fazal Haq Faruqi will play. And Faruqi has been an outstanding pick. Anybody who didn't pick him in fantasy leagues has felt the pain of his ability to pick up 3 or 4 wickets every game. Sandeep Sharma, Tushar Deshpande, but you start to feel that 7-8 slot needs to be Hasaranga, maybe Shubham Dubey gets to look, maybe Akash Madwal gets to look, and that's where you start to see the gaps. And so, not dissimilar to actually how Varun assessed Gujarat. If Samson and Jaiswal don't play an important role, I think they're going to have a hard time. Similarly with Joffrey, you got to watch out for injuries. You hope he does well. So weirdly, the player to watch for me actually is going to be, this is a strange one, but he's going to be Nitish Rana because he has to play a completely different role based on whether Samson and Jaswal can lose a wicket early or go out swinging. And he could help Impact play that role to anchor if needed. But as a whole, oh, and by the way, I didn't talk about their 13-year-old acquisition. I don't know if he's turned 14 since, so how old he is, but Vaibhav Suryavanshi, uh, 13 years old, youngest ever pick in an IPL auction. It's tough to see whether he'll get a game or not, but just a phenomenal batter. Hits huge sixes at his age. I can't imagine as he starts to grow how he'll continue to do. But yeah, great experience for this kid, and hopefully we get to see him in a game or two, and maybe over time, you never know, he plays a bigger role. So that's kind of it for me. Their first 11 doesn't look bad. As soon as you have a couple of injuries, they're starting to be in trouble, and I think they will miss Josh Butler, even though 2024 was middling. He has an incredible legacy with this side. So the Samson Butler uh, camaraderie is going to be gone. All right, Varun, let's keep us going. You've done KKR, you've done Gujarat. Left is only
My
Virat
second
Kohli's
favorite
boys.
team.
Yeah, or I
in
guess
the
he's not
IPL.
technically captain. So
It's still
maybe.
Virat Kohli's team.
By the way, they
Let's
showed a
have no doubt.
picture. They posted a picture of all 10 captains, and I had to do a quick double take when I saw the RCB one because I'm not totally sure I recognize Rajat Patidar's face off the bat. So I had to be, wait,
Because
who
you
is
just see
that?
the helmet, right?
But
Because
Rapa,
when he smokes it,
I mean, I just
it
also was
goes
not
far.
expecting to see him in an IPL captain photo shoot. It's very strange to me. But anyway, take us away on RCB.
Yeah, I mean, Rapa's been a big part of the RCB squad. I think coming in at number 3, goes through these periods of low scores in a row and then high scores in a row. So it's like consistent in the wrong sense in a way. But man, I was just saying when he smokes it, he looks so good. Like I. I don't know why I've got a soft spot for these Ruturaj, Rajat Patidar type right-handed top order guys. I think they're just great.
Both skippers now, right?
Yeah. Um, so I think from my side, like the problems haven't changed. Like you've gone all out and you've bought Liam Livingston and then you've bought Phil Salt and you bought all these big names, but you didn't focus on the bowling again. However, I'm going to say the RCB squad looks better than previous years, in my opinion. So I think you've got Kohli and Phil Salt up top, and Phil Salt has been awesome. So I think that's who you have up top. I think you got Rajat Patidar at number 3. I think the guy who misses out, controversial decision again, is Devdutt Padikkal, because if he's not opening, he hasn't done well at 3 and 4, and you don't want to be pushing Rapa down the order. So that is one for me. That I'm not sure if he finds a spot. I think your Krunal and Liam Livingston are. I don't know why DJ is laughing, but Krunal and Liam Livingston are in the middle. The guy who can change the season for me for RCB is Tim David. Right? It's been the gap. So I think if Tim David comes good and he's got Jitesh Sharma to give him company, if these two can finish off the games, I think it's a decent squad.
Is this a Singaporean bias showing up?
It is a little bit, I think, but yeah, Tim David is now Australian, but yeah, so that's what I think. So I think Jitesh and Tim in that lower middle order are going to have to win them games, uh, because the nature of RCB has been just that they've lost these games there, right? So very quickly coming to the bowling. All right, so they've got Josh Hazelwood and they've got Bhuvi. I think Bhuvi was a great pick, right? Because he can help kind of bring the rest of the Indian bowlers along with him. I think Josh Hazelwood is that experienced bowler. You'd want him playing every T20 game. They've got Ingidi, who again I think will sit out for the start, but nevertheless, good guy to have. And then the two other names, Yash Dayal, somehow I find him an average bowler, but he just somehow Kohli loves him, and he did get Dhoni out in that all important game. And Suyash Sharma, those are the guys I'd kind of mention. I haven't heard much about Nuwan Thushara, to be honest. So I don't know if he could be like a Pathirana type of a bowler. I probably would want to go and check that. But overall, I would say stronger than last year, still not as strong as I think RCB can be.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, it it just feels like the RCB story we've heard before a little bit, which is wild. And except I think you were spot on for me. I'm just excited to see what Bhuvi can do, not just as a bowler, but as sort of a leader of that pace attack, because that's where they've fallen short on what is obviously a very difficult ground for bowlers. And so you need somebody with experience. All right, DJ, round us out with your third team. I keep wanting to call them KXIP, but then I'm technically not that. So I'm just all the name throwbacks for people who've been IPL fans as long as we have. The Punjab Kings. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, the KXIP. Look, this is an interesting squad with Shreyas Iyer winning, captain KKR moving to KXIP. Maybe there's a K angle to all of this, um, but their strength. So let's just do this in the usual format. Their strength is clearly their all rounders. They've got Azmatullah Omarzai, Aaron Hardy, who, if you remember, Jared Kimber talked about 2 or 3 years ago on the podcast as someone that we should look at. Marco Jansen, well, not really an all rounder. I'd say more bowler who can bat a bit. They've got Maxi back. The Big Show is back where the Big Show started, pretty much in the IPL, which was, or maybe the Big Show started in Delhi, but he actually scored some runs in Punjab. Um, Mushir Khan. Now, this is Sarfaraz Khan's brother. So, Indian player doing really well at the domestic level. I think this will probably be his first IPL gig. Interesting that Sarfaraz's brother doesn't have one, but Mushir has made it in. Again, Shashank Singh. He's done well previously in the IPL. Marcus Stoinis. So these are all good names, right? Like you can see a quite a solid core being built around these players. Bowling, Arshdeep back on it. Yuzvendra Chahal is here. Lockie Ferguson. Harpreet Brar, we've seen for a few seasons. He took those wickets against RCB to make his name. Kuldeep Sen, decent bowler. So I'm not that concerned about the bowling and the all rounders because they'll kind of take care of themselves. My concern with this team is actually their batting. We've got Shreyas Iyer, of course. He'll probably bat three for them. Josh Inglis had a decent 100 in the Champions Trophy, a kind of hard hitting batter. Prab Simran, blow hot, blow cold. I think he had a decent season the year before, but last season wasn't that great for him. And Nehal Odera, who, if you remember, used to bat kind of low down the order in MI, and then has now moved to what is his home state as a Ranji player, Punjab. So that lineup doesn't sound scary, if that makes any sense. Um, so I think yeah, it's I think their weakness is going to be their batting. They need to put a lot of runs on the board at the top, and they'll rely a lot on their middle order to do that, which is not how most teams go about designing their squads, right? So I'd be interested to see maybe Prab Simran opens the batting. He's been doing that for a few games every season. I think he did that more last year, but without so much success. Josh and him will probably open the batting with Shreyas batting three, and then Nihal, and then the all rounders. So maybe they'll paper over it with the various all rounders. Their other challenge will be who are going to be their overseas players that are going to play. Is it going to be Josh Inglis? Is it going to be Omar Zai? Is it going to be Maxi? You're going to have Marco Jansen, Marcus Stoinis. They've Lockie Ferguson. They have a lot of overseas to pick from, but you can only ever play four, right? So I think they've got the balance of their squad slightly off with I think Ashwin what you called an Australian Kings 11, right? So yeah.
I mean, I didn't really pay attention at the end. I'm mostly just proud of you for not saying Josh Inglis so
Just,
well. Josh
just English, but who's English?
Yeah.
But
And then
it looks like a team that has just been picked based on an Excel formula and players have been picked up. You know what I mean? Like it just that when I look at this team, it just looks like you've gone after players without thinking
yeah,
about the squad.
Missing
and the
some
problem
soul.
is
Yeah.
in an era where you've got that super sub or whatever impact player or whatever it's called, you don't actually need so many all rounders. Punjab's problem for years was they used to play five batters, five bowlers, and one wicket keeper, and so they had no all rounders. This was like the Ravichandran Ashwin era. They've gone the total opposite, but they don't need to do that in the impact player era where you can swap out a batter and get a bowler in. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to pick their impact player for me. That would be someone like a Josh Inglis, who's English.
All right. You just wanted to say his name one more time.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it right.
There you go. No, you got it right the first time. I was very proud of
Okay.
you for it. So.
Okay,
Anyway.
fair. Yeah, so
All
that's
right.
my Kings 11.
All right. I will round us out. I was trying to think about how to talk about or even process the Mumbai Indians team, right? 8 points, 4 wins out of 14 games last season. At the same time, what a difference a year makes.
Sorry, I have to say
What are
the
you
Spider-Man,
showing?
the
What's going
Spider-Man
on?
meme where everyone's pointing at each other saying, "Are you my captain?"
Yeah, you have Hardik, who is Mumbai Indians captain. I think T20 India vice.
Not
You then
anymore.
have
Akshar is.
vice. Then you have Sky, who is T20 India T20 captain. Then you have Rohit, who is Test and ODI captain for now and is not going anywhere in ODIs.
Or
Anyway,
tests, as he said.
yeah, not tests actually, but really, what a difference a year makes, right? Last year, Hardik was being booed at grounds. He has been through a lot personally that became public, I think, after the IPL, if my timeline is correct. Rohit and Hardik together played in the Team India T20 World Cup winning campaign, and Sky, of course. And since obviously have played together in the ODI Champions Trophy winning campaign. Hardik, the fans, including us, have fallen back in love with Hardik. It's just wild to think about this Mumbai Indians team of a year ago, because on paper it's actually not that fundamentally different, but it feels very different coming back with guys who have won. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned, Varun, that or DJ, I think you were saying Abhishek is now a stalwart and filling up stadiums and stuff like that. Tilak Varma is that too, by the way. He may be the first name on the team sheet um, the for the Mumbai Indians, which is wild given the kind of depth they have. So let me just walk through what I think. Some of the key changes, right? They brought back Trent Bolt, who has been an important player for them for a long time. They picked up Deepak Chahar. They picked up Mitchell Santner. All very important. Mitchell Santner, by the way, Champions Trophy runner-up recently, running up captain, etc. And then they brought in Will Jacks, who played for RCB last year, who could be an interesting, may or may not play. But as I look at their playing 11, for a team that came 10th last year by quite a distance, now that they've figured out their PR, internal feud stuff, in theory, Rohit Sharma and Will Jacks to open. Tilak at 3, Sky at 4, Hardik at 5, right? Somewhere 6 is their TBD spot, which comes. Either they have a Bevan Jacobs, they have Robin Mins, they have Raj, they have a few different options. Then Deepak Chahar, Mitch Santner, Trent Bolt, and Jasprit Bumrah, who I won't even spend time talking about because
But
he's just
Bumrah's injured for the first
for
few
a few
games.
games.
Yeah.
But still, right? Mitch Santner, Trent Bolt, Jasprit Bumrah, Deepak Chahar as your 4 kind of main bowlers, with Hardik as a batting option who can bowl. And then Rohit, Tilak, Sky. I don't care that they came 10th. This team makes a playoff for me. You could argue they have some lack of depth. They picked up a Ryan Rickleton. They have Reece Topley. They retained Arjun Tendulkar, or they bought back Arjun Tendulkar, which is a discussion for another day. Corbin Bosch is now in for Lizard Williams, who's injured. Mujib is in the squad. So it's not great depth, but it's not bad depth. But man, that first 11, if they get to play, I think they're walking into the playoffs, assuming Rohit continues his form and Hardik plays to his potential. Anything I missed on Mumbai Indians, guys? That seems like such a weird thing to feel so good about a team that came 10th, but that's just what it is.
I mean, they are going to bounce back. You know it. Mumbai Indians are going to bounce back. There were problems last year, like you said. It's been sorted. You've seen them hugging, kissing. I think just Bumrah's going to miss a few, but apart from that, they look great.
All right, guys, we got through 9 teams. 9 are done. Did I miss anybody? Now I have to quickly relook at the list.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
I've done my 3.
You've done
Varun's
your
done his
3.
3. You've done your 3.
I've
So
done my
we've
3.
got
So who's
the
left?
main show left to go.
An incredible test team. KL Rahul, Akshar Patel, Mitchell Stark, Faf du Plessis. What a test side this is.
That's unfair, man.
Kuldeep
Yadav,
Karun Nair.
What a test match.
Tristan Stubbs.
I know.
But Stubbs doesn't play test.
I know we're being hard.
Natarajan.
Natarajan with his one test. Yeah.
Varun, do you want to start us off? Tell us what you feel about the Delhi team this year. And
Firstly,
try for a hot second to put aside how incredibly hurt we are that Rishabh is gone.
yeah, I mean,
Even aside
I
from
am.
that, yeah.
I'm hurt. But we've dealt with that. That happened
Yeah.
in November, so we've dealt with that. Firstly, I'm really happy that Harry Brooks has got banned because
Yes,
His
sick.
name
That
is
guy,
not plural.
man.
His name is
Shit.
singular. His name is Harry Brooks.
well,
But
was it Brook?
but because he's bunked us twice, he's Brooks.
I mean,
He did it
there's-
last year also.
Yeah,
the
and
food
he's
is
out.
bad. The air is bad. I
Everything
can't
is
see
bad
Varun
except
Chakravarti's
My
ball.
team is bad, so I need to prepare for my English summer.
Bullshit. Okay.
He's
Like
stupid.
Sunil Gavaskar said, you have pulled out because you cannot play spin and you're going to hamper your future England chances. I don't normally agree with Sunny G, but
No.
I'm like, yeah, great call.
Look, I don't know. That's probably like this is like the hyper nationalistic stuff that Sunny Bhai comes up with, right? Brook is a good player. He'll be fine. Like he scored tons of runs in Pakistan. Like, he scored more runs in Pakistan than in England, actually.
But,
So
but
he
everybody
plays
scores
well.
runs in
he's a
Pakistan
bit of
except
an
Babar.
ass. Yeah,
Yeah, that
everyone
he
except
is.
Babar.
That he is.
Harry Brook is an ass, okay? Like, the food is not good, the air is not good. Like, okay, man, we don't need you. So, I am happy BCCI have banned him for 2 years.
And by the
Yeah.
way, it's all
Varun
on a
wants to
social...
extend the ban for 20 years.
I don't mind.
Which is actually, you know what? I don't think he's going to play the IPL again
Yeah.
because
He won't
after this
play.
kind of stunt, he's done.
He
for.
won't
And
get
the
picked up.
teams
And
will
by the
also
way,
talk,
let's
yeah.
be clear, there's a lot of hype in media and TikTok stuff about it being a controversy. There's no controversy. The IPL was super clear. This is the
Yeah.
Brooke knew what he
Yeah.
was thinking when
Yes.
he got in. He withdrew.
There
He knew
is
that. He's
zero
out for 2 years.
controversy.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
I
What
feel
is
like
the
it should have been
controversy?
3.
No, people are saying, "Oh, he's banned and this future England captain." No, there's no controversy. This was
Yeah.
You're
You're not
set up.
injured.
If you don't
You
think
just-
you're 100% likely to play and you're not injured, don't put your name in the auction. Wait a year.
It is a business, man. At the end of it, the franchise owners have planned their team around that. There's
Yeah.
big money to be made
You
by
need
players and
consequences, yeah.
franchise owners around this.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, he made the comment about not seeing the ball somewhere in the south, and social media just exploded saying, "Do you know you're playing for Delhi?
Delhi.
Like, you will not be able to see anything."
March, April time.
So anyway,
The
now
smog
that
gas.
he's out of the way, I think, if you ask me, I'm very happy that KL is not captain. I am not very happy that Akshar is captain. I feel like Akshar is going through that peak phase of his career. And obviously, we think of him as, Jaddu Part 2, and Jaddu didn't handle captaincy well. So I'm hoping Akshar can come out and kind of bust that myth. But the reality is, it's an extra added responsibility to one of your, key players, I would say, bat and ball. I mean, Akshar coming at 4-5,
and
Akshar
field,
bowling
right?
4
Like, it
over.
sounds silly,
He's
but
catching at the boundary. I mean, so I just hope it doesn't bog him down, right? Like this entire captaincy.
Yeah, I
thing.
had a very silly thought actually to that point, is that he doesn't normally feel in the infield in death
Yeah.
overs and stuff, but a captain has to be talking to their bowler
Yeah.
and stuff. So are you losing that boundary? I don't know, it's such a silly consequence, but that type of stuff matters in big games.
Yeah, I think the advantage is that he might be able to pull together a Mohit Sharma, Natarajan, Mukesh Kumar, just as a bowler, Indian leader kind of thing. So I think, and Kuldeep, I think, and him will have a great equation. So I think, again, okay, we'll go reverse. Bowling, Kuldeep, Akshar, Mohit, Mukesh would be kind of my top 4, along
What?
with Stark.
Mitchell Stark, yeah.
No, Stark. I'm saying the
Number
Indian
one.
bowlers.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I think that would be it, and then obviously Mitchell Stark. But I think Natarajan misses out. To me, I think it's a clear path for Faf now, and I don't see that as a bad thing because
Yeah.
experienced player, leadership, group, what have you. I think Faf and Jake Frazier open. I think you got a Purell at number 3. That has worked, right? Because you need that explosive start. If Delhi has to play that explosive game. There's no other way.
One
And
second.
then
Are we leaving out that KL will probably open or want to open at least to go back
yeah,
to
he
this
may
discussion?
want to. I think that is the risk for
Yeah.
me. I think the risk is that KL would want to open, and so it'll be KL and Jake Frazier. But then I think you got to take a call about
Look,
Faf.
but I don't think that's right anymore because KL last year wanted to open because there was a T20 World Cup coming up. He didn't make that squad.
Dude,
He
KL
forced him.
just
He
talks
forced fit,
nonsense.
but he forced fit himself at the top of LSG, right?
No,
Because he was captain and all of that, and
and I
he
should say
wanted to open because he thought he'll play as an opener in the world.
that
Now
not to
he's
conflate
not in that squad.
formats. He
Yeah, he's
was
not in the
he
squad.
was phenomenal as an ODI six. Phenomenal.
So he could bat. He
So
could
he
easily
can
fit in
bat.
five,
Yeah.
and maybe that's the role that these guys have told him. They've not given him captaincy, which I thought was a big move by the management. And then they may just tell him, "You're going to bat 4 or 5. You need to come and float up and down the order, smack it around at the end,
Yeah.
because we've got all these." Because Faf can't do that at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He needs those power play overs, right? So he doesn't have that ability. Jake Fraser, that's like a foregone conclusion. Porel, I think 3. I think the right place for him to bat is 4 KL in
Okay.
this squad. I think that's me.
Okay. And then where do we go from there? 5 Akshar probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 Ashutosh Sharma? He had a
Oh no, Stubbs.
Stubbs has to play.
Wait, so who are your overseas so far? Faf, Fraser,
Faf,
Stubbs,
And Start. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why Brook missing out is actually really it gives you a lot of clarity in this
Brook
role.
and Faf was one slot, right?
Yeah.
That's
And we talked about that during the preview, I think, where it was like who's going to play. And for me, I like Brook was a walk into this team because he was their star pick, and now he's just like he's gone. So that's good in a way.
Maybe I'm talking myself into it, but Varun, as you're going, I'm like, this is not that bad actually. I was really bearish about this season.
No, I think the challenge is if Jake gets off to a great start, it's not bad. But otherwise, Faf, KL, it's
Porel.
not. It's not. It's
And
not
Stubbs.
the best
Stubbs is
team.
quite explosive, right? When he has to be. The
I
challenge
guess.
with these guys for me was what is their all rounders, and the one decent all rounder is basically Akshar, but it becomes less of a weakness if you have the impact player, right? Where you can swap out a Mohit, and you've got all those Indian bowlers where you can just
Yes.
swap out.
And you've got
one
your
of the-
Ashutosh Sharma type guys.
Yeah,
who
don't
can-
forget him, man. Strike T20 career strike rate of 182.5.
That's it. Yeah,
Just what
that's
a
it.
guy. I think
Because
he's
him
gonna
and
be great.
Nitish used to do that double act, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's
So
going to be
him-
great as
So we're
Nitish,
calling them for
he-
qualification, is it?
Wait, who's Nitish? Ashutosh Sharma and Shashank Singh. used to do
Shashank.
that.
Oh, Shashank Singh.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, confused. But so we're calling them for qualification. Then
I
on
mean,
the
we
podcast.
have to. We said the top is Sunrisers and then Delhi. There's a very little gap in the squads.
Yeah. I mean, they spent some money on Samir Rizvi, then Donovan Ferreira, Dushmantan Shamira. But basically, Varun, the other realization is any of the 11 gets injured and you've got a hole. Like, I don't know what they do with the impact player rule. I don't think there is somebody you want to play as number 12 in this squad.
I mean, it's Natarajan and Ashutosh Sharma in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Nattu comes in to bowl the Yorkers at the death. Mohit Sharma, top wicket taker 2 seasons ago for GT. I mean, it's good, bro. Like this is looking great.
This is gonna happen. All right, on that,
and Stark is gonna get headed Travis Sheikh out of the first over. Dude, the script is
written.
Oh my god!
But we had a great comment in from Yash, by the way. I don't know whether that's Dayal or Thakur or who's
Dayal is
in,
watching our show.
KL Rahul 100 and 150 strike rate on Goenka's head, and my life will be complete. It's just too funny, actually. But yeah, thanks for the comment, guys.
On that happy note, we made it through all 10 teams. I'm now, like, this always happens when we do this preview, but now I'm fired up, and now we have 6 days to kill until it starts. But it's going to be a great season. Varun, you and I will be live together, not live at the games, but together for a one weekend. We'll get to watch some of the double headers in person, which is going to be fun. We'll try to do a live episode.
So should we have a consensus for instead of us, because it's too much. We cover all the 10 teams by that, so we should have a consensus for. So we can all be wrong. It's binary then.
Let's do it. All right.
So
my first
SRH,
one. SRH was
SRH. I think we're all.
I'm
agreed
putting
on.
MI into the hat.
I think MI has to be there. Like the Wankhede is too good a stadium to like. Are we agreed on that one?
I mean, I wouldn't, but 2 out of 3, it's fine.
No, we should try and get consensus.
This is why we
let's see if we can have all 3.
The next 45 minutes.
Do we all think Delhi is going through?
No, absolutely. But I'm happy to put it in just to be excited.
No.
I think Delhi would do well to fit it somewhere between 6 and 8. That would be a good performance. Like,
but that's been the last 20 years of our life.
Yeah, but
we finished first for the first 5.
One better. And this year we shouldn't do better based on this score. Anyway.
Okay.
What do you think about KKR? I mean, Varun, you did a good preview. Rinku, Varun, Russell, Harshit. It's not a Quinton now. So I can see them making it in. And even though you don't have the coach and captain, you are still the champion coming in. I think there's some element of excitement that comes from that.
It depends on Narayan and his form. Narayan and Russell, the two old
Well, that's 18 years.
war
You said
horses.
KKR's IPL. Like literally, didn't he play the first season?
Narayan didn't though.
The
I
first
don't know.
couple.
Russell played for Delhi to start,
But
as
for,
like
for
everybody
18
else.
IPL seasons, we have been saying Russell and Narayan can change your teams.
Yeah, but
It's
pretty
ugly.
much.
Anyway.
But 18 is also, have you seen the ad by Virat Kohli? Is like, so let's eliminate the teams who don't think are going to make it. I don't think RCB is going to make it.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, we're going to get lots of hate from the RCB fans.
No, I don't think RR is going to make it without Butler. We're going to get hate from the Samson fans.
Varun has said GT is not going to make it.
Yeah.
I think CSK is going to make it. How are we on board with that?
I actually think RCB is going to make it, but okay.
Okay, we have to wrap. We've spent
it's just
Okay.
too
Let's
much.
just go through each of our four. We're not going to settle on a consensus. DJ, who are your four?
So I've got SRH, I've got MI, I've got CSK, and then I've got one more spot, and I can't make up my mind around that.
We'll come back to finish you off. Varun, let's go with yours.
All right, I'm going to go with SRH, MI, RCB, and KKR.
Okay, so I'm a combination of you two. I have SRH, MI, CSK, and KKR.
Okay.
DJ, you gotta pick your fourth, and so hopefully somebody's.
I'm gonna go with Delhi Capitals.
All right, he had to.
DC Blood.
He had to do it. Runners-up of the Women's Premier League. No trophy ever across either format.
But it's coming. It's coming home.
It's coming home. This is going to be the year. This has been fun, guys. I know it took longer than we thought. We don't normally do hour-long episodes, so thank you for everybody who managed to power through with us. 6 days out from the IPL, it is going to be a big one. It's going to be a great season. Varun, go get some sleep. DJ, go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, at One Tip One Hand on all the socials. You guys know the drill. We'll be back next week to talk about the first couple games of the IPL, and we will be putting out on our Discord and in the show notes, etc., our Edges and Sledges Fantasy League that we would love for all of you to join, play against us, realize how bad we are in fantasy cricket, and let's have some fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This is the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast, signing off.
Diluted Capitals for the win.
Deluded Capitals.
That's what we are. Awesome.
Right. We should hang up because sometimes the live doesn't end. So in case this is still live.
Yeah. Chalo.
Varun, yours says 2 seconds to upload.
Yeah.
Why is it not uploading?
Okay.
I'll leave it open.
Yeah.
Mine's done.
Yours is done. Mine is done.
Okay.
I'll set up the fantasy.
Sinay, you have 5 minutes. Can I call you about something else?